before Jesus even gets into this fantastic story, the best part on one level is how it all comes about. For whatever reason, Peter asks the question of Jesus, Lord, how many times must you forgive your brother? And then Peter also gives the answer, 7 times? It's kind of like, to me, a little kindergarten kid who, teacher, I have the answer, you know. So he asks the question, then he gives the answer, and the answer is astounding because we all know that 7 is the perfect number, the number of completion. So if you say 7 times, you're really saying all the time. You must always forgive. That's Peter's answer. I remember when I gave those parish retreats, I used to love to do this. I used this passage on the part of it for forgiveness because I said, Peter said 7 times saying, all the time you must always forgive. And Jesus says, no, not all the time. Always, 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 and just goes on forever. In other words, it's not the number of times, and in the old translation it'd be 70 times, 7 times 70 times, it'd be 490 times. That's not the answer. The answer is you must become a forgiver. Your heart must be changed so that you always are willing and ready to forgive. Now that's when the gospel comes alive in us. And that's Jesus' point. And it's an astounding story. Imagine in the first case, this guy owed a lot of money, a huge amount, says the gospel. And when he begged for compassion and time to pay it off, the beauty of this story is the man didn't say, okay, I'll give you time. He just said, okay, forget it. You don't have to pay me back anything. Now that's forgiveness. Forgiving a total debt. But that guy who was forgiven so much and freed completely from his debt did not know how to show that same forgiveness to someone else. That's a scary story. Is it possible that we could be so loved by God, but we don't know how to love others or even love ourselves? I sit in the confessional. I hear it all the time. Yeah, we're not only supposed to be receivers, but givers of all the good gifts, forgiveness, compassion, love, willingness to serve. That's what our faith is about. And I think that, I read an article. In fact, I have a little group. We do some sharing. And this man wrote this article about how he lost his faith. How he didn't say he was Catholic. It was probably some Christian faith, I think. And he was brought up in this church. And at some point, he started asking questions. Well, why do I go to church? What's it mean? And he couldn't find a reason. He found that it was there was less meaning to it all the time, so he left the church. And I know we had a big discussion in our group, and I said, it's a cop-out. It's a cop-out, because just because you go to church doesn't mean that you're getting something. You got to do the work. And so as I look out at you, I know some of your stories about your kids and your grandkids no longer going to church. My family, all my nieces, I think but one, don't go to church anymore or have switched to other religions. And they got a priest who's an uncle who's a priest. So what? So what? But I think if they ask me why they can't find meaning in the church, I would say to them, because you don't do the work. It's a journey you have to make. You have to find the meaning. And to dismiss a church of over 2,000 years of age just dismiss it? Wow, that's something. But I think today these scriptures grab hold of it. We got to really look. And I wrote my little Facebook page today, and I started with this saying, I've seen the light. Because it's something wonderful when you haven't recognized a truth for the longest, and then one day you wake up and you see it, you get it for the first time, you say, I've seen the light. I've seen the light. Well, these scriptures today are about seeing the light, coming to know a truth and then living it. And unfortunately, the man who owed the huge debt never came to see the light, never did. And hopefully that won't be our fate. Please stand. Confident in the Lord's mercy, let us bring before him our prayers and our petitions for the church and the world.